Hello everybody, let's get started for a playthrough of Europa Universalis. Let's play Holland. I'm going to go through some of the tips and strategies that I've learned and picked up from various YouTubers and Twitch channels, and some things I've learned myself from playing this game as Holland. It's a great adventure while playing going tall rather than going wide, where you'd find with, say, a France or an England. Alright, so starting off as Holland, one of the first things that I've always heard and seen and read about with different kinds of videos is the fact that if you're going to try and form the Netherlands with Holland, you need to get one person on your side, and that is the Archduke, Frederick III von Habsburg. And as luck would have it, I rolled up the first time and found out that he was a rival to Burgundy, which is awesome. Now, you may not get that the first time, but if you don't, I say it would be a good idea to try and re-roll a couple of times just to make sure that you can get him as your ally. He's going to be super critical to your ability to be able to succeed in the strategy of making Holland. So the first thing I did is I asked for support from independence from him. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at our fleets, because I want to get them taken care of. We're going to ignore the transports for right now, but then what we're going to do is we're going to send them off to protect trade in the English Channel. It's kind of a non-controversial move there, but very critical. One of the other things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your merchants. Grab the one from Lubric, and you're going to transfer him to the English Channel. So let's grab the one from Lubric. And the reason is because by having him transfer trade power inside the English Channel, we're going to get more trade than from him steering trade from Lubric. And that's really kind of important and critical here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Champagne one, and we're going to tell him to start setting a trade policy of hostile trading. The reason why we're going to do that is this, because it is absolutely critical we get some claims on Antwerpen and the Brabant. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to send out a spy diplomat to start building a spy network. We have a couple of military advisors, or different advisors, that are available to us. We could potentially pick up one of these guys, trade efficiency, spy network construction, something like that. But I don't think I have enough money to be able to make that. Ugh. Not really good. Well, at least one thing isn't going our direction. National tax modifier might be good. Let's see how much money we're making. 2.26 ducats. Alright, we can probably afford a single advisor, so let's do that. National tax modifier. Excellent. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to need to train up our troops. But before we go very much further with that, I think what we're actually going to do is we're going to try and see if we can get a good general. Now, there's an easy way to get that. But sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. One of the ways you can do that is that if you roll for a great general, you can get a more successful general than you can if you just make one by spending 50 military power. So what I'll do is I'll give Zeeland to the nobles. And then I'll request a grant of generalship. One of the big changes between the latest patch, 125, and previous patches is this used to be two provinces. This was one province. This piece right here was one whole province. And so if you gave them Zeeland, the nobles Zeeland, it immediately caused you a crisis. Now that they've split this up into 3 provinces, it makes it much easier. And all the more reason to do that. Let's take a look at some other things. Oh, look at that! Shock of 5. and a single siege pip, which isn't the worst thing that could possibly happen. He'll at least help with our sieges, which is good. So we're going to send him here. And we're going to start getting them training. I'm going to order a single infantry and a single knight. And then, oh, last thing I'm going to do, yep, I feel like we're good to go. Just to do a real quick check-in. One of the things that we have now is decisions. And our major decision is to form the Dutch nation. In order to form the Dutch nation, we need 4 additional provinces. We need Breda from Brabant. We need Gare, we need Ulrich, and we need Friesland. And so our key thing is to get claims on those territories as quickly as possible. We won't necessarily be able to exercise those claims, but they're very useful. The other thing we need is Antwerpen. Antwerpen is a center of trade, coastal center of trade, and so will give us significant trade power and also give us institution spread, local development costs, and a bunch of other things. Also, it would be really nice if on Oosterfriesland, if we could potentially get that province as well, but I'm not as worried about that at this point. Without further ado, we're going to kick things off. I'm going to speed 3, mostly because I'm not fast and I have a hard time working with speed 4. So, yes, Kingdom of Italy and the Empire. Alright, now the other thing we're going to do is we're going to look at, let's pause for just a second. The other thing I want to do is, see he's aligned with Milan, with Baden. Let's look at our other enemies, future enemies that we have to worry about. Excellent. Utrecht is allied with East Frisia. Who are you allied with? And that's just who you're allied with, these two. Which is good, because if we declare war on Utrecht, we'll also potentially be able to claim East Frisia, which would be very powerful. Gael is also allied with Friesland and Brittany, which means that we could have significant, none of them are allied with, like, say, Denmark or France or any of the other guys here. So the big thing we want to do here is we want to... Ooh, you will support our independence. Shoot. So hopefully we can postpone them going to war long enough for us to gain our first claim. This is going to be really tight. In fact, I'm going to stop you drilling because I want to be able to get this as quickly as possible. English Channel, we're going to tell them to do hostile training as well, because it's super critical we get that core, fabricate that claim on Antwerpen. His ally is Brunswick. Excellent. Brunswick. So not that very powerful, but could be an interesting little twist. We're going to add another infantry. We're in a Regency Council. Excellent. Mission fulfilled. We've built to our force limit. We're going to claim our thing, which is going to give us a morale of army and land maintenance modifier. And unfortunately, it's super critical that we get France on our side. We really can't do this without France. Now, in order to get a claim here, we need 20. Surrender of Maine. Oh, and they're now in the war. Shoot. Oh well. Guess we'll have to wait a little while. That makes it a little less critical. But we need to get France on our side. And unfortunately, I don't believe France will support our independence now, because France is at war. Make sure we're not over our force limit. But we are. Shoot. So we're going to grab... That was kind of obnoxious. How bad is it if we're over our force limit? Not the worst. Excellent. We're going to be ready to offer a fabricated claim up on Antwerpen. Actually, let's do a first claim on Breda. So, let's speed things up a little faster. Wait for France to get finished with his war. Really? No, his trade city's still there. Huh, interesting. Yep, still a coastal center of trade. And as luck would have it, well, I guess he is rivaled with Austria. Well, while it's waiting for him, let's go ahead and do this. We'll improve relations to at least make us ready so that when he's finished with his war, we can get him on our side. Merchant defects. Ah, no, we always need to do mercantilum is right. Let's get that claim on Breda. How's France's war going? 41. Ah, though it looks like England is in a war against Scotland as well. Yep, it looks like France has taken out all those territories at this point. And it's just a matter of time. Oh, nope, I guess Scotland is fighting with them too. They've merged the two wars. And Scotland's not doing so hot. Alright, let's see if I can get Brita. Let's fabricate a claim. Antwerpen it is. Now that I've got those two claims, I think it's important for us to stop building a spy network and get both Austria and France on our sides. And improve relations with both of them. Actually, before I improve relations with Austria, I think Mr. Pope Man might enjoy it if I gained relations with him. Ah, and Britain has taken all of Scotland. Ooh, and he just peaced out. Interesting. So what's the war score look like now? 36 reasons to join. And it looks like England took the Western Marches and the Eastern Marches and Cumbria from Scotland. So as soon as France pieces out, we're going to pause the game, get them to support our independence, and request they join in a war against Burgundy. Since we're no longer trying to lay claims, I'm going to switch them back to maximize profit. That'll hopefully give us some more money. Ah, the England's going with the House of Lancaster. I'll spare no expense when it comes to diplomacy. The other thing I'm hoping I can gain, which would be nice, is if we could get an advisor for, like this guy, who will hopefully give us some military power. We could promote this advisor or focus on military power. Slowly ticking up the scores. Ugh, terrible ruler. France is really happy with us. Now all we need to do is get them to stop their stupid war. Many of the families of the nobility won their current position due to the actions of a forefather who served the state in times of war. For most of their sons, a life in the field is therefore the only imaginable career. With the modernization of the army, however, common officers are no longer entirely unusual. Members of the nobility have now approached us asking that we guarantee what they feel is their given right of their class. No man should be able to take service as a commander in the Dutch army who is not of noble birth. Guarantee their right to command our armies. Workers lose a lot of loyalty. Nobles get a lot more loyalty. Yearly army tradition of -1. Or Nobility lose 20 loyalty and gain 15 loyalty in the burghers. Gain 2% armed professionalism. Oh yeah, this is what we're going with. We cannot commit to such promises. They will learn to love this. Alright, and it's been at least several years. I'm going to go ahead and revoke this province. They're going to be unhappy with me, but they will survive. What's the effect? Power recovery speed, land maintenance modifier. Yeah, that's fine. Come on, France. Who are you fighting? Okay, so you're fighting just England at this point. Wish there was a way to ferry troops over across for you. Okay, we're going to recall a diplomat because we're finished encouraging all of your... encouraging us. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to improve relations with Austria now. Couldn't enforce peace even if I wanted to. Although it is a bit laughable. Ah, excellent. The Renaissance. Ah, formed in Milan. Excellent. That reminds me, I need to go in here into Holland. I need to set my edicts to protect trade. Get some more trade going, which should help us out. Ah, we've got a Regency Council. I didn't think our leader was that old. Yeah, he was pretty young. Alright, well, now would be a great time. Because if Philip dies, all of these provinces will be inherited by most likely Spain. Or who would inherit them? Hard to say. Alright, well, we are ready to go to marketplaces. Add a marketplace in. Ooh, we could hire a painter. Let's do that. And I can build a province improvement marketplace. Oh yeah. We're gonna go with marketplace here. Ah, and yes, and we can invest in temples as well. Ah, pause it. Excellent. So we're gonna go ahead and stop relation improvement. Stop relation improvement. The war is over. So now the question is, yes, you will ask support for independence. We're gonna slow this down. Speed 3. It'll take 9 days, but hopefully things won't change within those 9 days. Well, 2 more days to get my final... There we go. Both our diplomats are here. So this is incredibly critical. And it took me a couple times to actually learn this about the Holland game. It's very important that you ask for support for independence, but as soon as you ask for support for independence, as soon as you get enough support for independence, Burgundy will then turn around and say, okay, fine, I'll let you go. Which is not what you want. You actually want the war declared against Burgundy. And so, the trick is, you have to ask for support for independence. Oh, and we need to, before we do that, we need to raise our economy up. Our main army maintenance is going up. I'm going to move my army to the back. I'm going to go ahead and trigger this, but hopefully it'll be a couple of days before he comes here and hits me. So we can't do this until 1451, which is fine. Isn't the worst thing that could happen. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to say, ask for support for independence. Here we go, guys. Actually, this is a great time to pause, so give me a second. We're going to stop right now.